Okay, so we're back now for the exciting stuff. We're done disintegrating stuff. We're going to start teleporting stuff. So what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and, let's just make this a new set of things. This guy was our purple guy. He was object A. Let's call him object A um, disintegrate. Disintegrate. And let's just turn him off. Just copy that entire dude. Call him object A teleport now. And actually, now that we've done that, inside of here where we said object to teleport, I'll call him object to disintegrate, just so we remember. So we're inside one, we'll notice. Okay? So now we have an object. Ooh, things need to be different colors. Yeah. Let's see. Disintegration is purple, so we'll make this guy teleporting is a deeper thing. It'll be deeper purple. Okay, so this is our object to teleport. Just start with the simple things up here. Notice I'm leaving all this stuff. Why? Probably because I'm about to use it. Like a lot of this stuff is going to get reused. This, remember, we're outputting it. It uses $OS, and I don't want to clobber the cool stuff we already made. So I'm going to call this teleportation version 1. Now we're not actually teleporting yet, right? We're all just beginning to start, so let's all calm down for a second. But what do we need for teleportation? Now, we got our object here, and we got this object, and one's going to go to the other, but we're going to put it in a different place. And if we were boring people, we would just, move it across the room or something like that, and teleport from here to here or something like that. But this is Brundlefly time, so let's make it more exciting. Let's move them along a curve. How do we make a curve? Well, we could make a curve in a lot of different ways, but the easiest way is let's actually make an object that's just for the curve, and we'll call it the teleportation curve. Curve. Can we spell curve? Okay, that's our teleportation curve, and it gets a special color too. Inside the teleportation curve, we're going to make a curve. Now, basically, you can just pop down any curve you want. I'm going to make a curve, and you could sit in here and go bing, 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 bing. I'm going to make a pretty simple curve, though, just because I've made one before. And I'm just going to use a set of points that are basically kind of in a plane, but with a curve. So if you're following along at home, I did just draw this curve, and it's just this guy. You're thinking to yourself, well, that's pretty dull. And the answer is, yeah, it is. The reason I'm keeping it relatively simple for this is just because we're going to have a bunch of crazy movement on these guys and then go out and then back in and stuff. They'll actually be like this, like a NURBS. So I'm making a relatively simple kind of curve, starting at 0, 0, 0 and ending up somewhere out there like 6, 2, 3. You can draw your own curve. It really doesn't matter. The main thing I want to say is that it is very simple. We're not drawing a whole bunch of points. And number 2, it is NURBS. And number 3, I guess there's no number 3. That's it. So let's call that Orion teleportation curve. Let's call it curve. Now we're going to need to put, we don't technically need to go crazy with this. Just to make things work out right, I'm going to, and again, this is one of those things that I'm going to do because in the future we would take this into a shot in a movie and maybe they'd be off in space somewhere and, nowhere near here in different sizes and stuff. So I don't want to just have, oh, the objects are here and hey, it happens to be their object, happens to be the beginning of our curve. In other words, our other guy's just going to happen to be at the end. I'm actually going to force that. So if later on we draw a different curve, things all just kind of magically move with it. So these things I'm going to do now won't actually really affect in this example, but they're kind of another one of my paranoid good practices things. Because again, you want to make things quasi bulletproof. You can't make everything bulletproof. We want to make it relatively bulletproof. So I'm going to make something called the first point, and it's just going to be deleting every point except for point 0. Punk. So there's the point 0, as you can see. Doop. And same thing for the last point, which we'll call, last point. Underscore point. I should make that so you can see it. And last point's the same thing. And we'll just hard code it to be the number of points there and put it in number 4 so that it'll totally screw up when somebody uses a different curve. Ha! Just kidding. We would never do such a thing. We'll give it a pattern $n. Okay? So that way we're looking at the last point and it works even if we add other points or change this curve or modify it or something. Obviously, we don't want to hard code anything for the obvious reason. Okay. The other thing we're going to need, exciting. I know you're like, what did he do? Here's a little guy called reverse, which is pretty rare to even use. I almost never use it, but I will in this case. And this is to reverse the direction of the curve. And I'm going to actually put a null down here and call this the reversed curve. Why would I need a reversed curve, you ask? That is part of the big secret. Oh, I said there weren't going to be any other big secrets in this tutorial, but there will. Part of the big secret on how we're going to do this little trick. So just remember it, and I'm not going to say anything else about it. I'm going to leave you in suspenders. So find out what's happening with that later. So object A to teleport. Again, here's my ready for paranoia or silliness that doesn't need to necessarily go that crazy. I'm going to say we have our point here. Okay. I'm actually going to object merge in the first point of the curve. And let's just make this full size for now. Into this object, we're going to grab from the teleportation curve, right? I'm going to grab the first point, okay? And then we're going to just use a copy SOP literally for the point of doing something that you won't even notice right now, but it's good practices for later, which means I'm going to do this. I'm going to take that point, okay, and I'm going to move our object to that point. Now, of course, our object already was at that point, so that isn't very interesting here, but this is one of these gotta trust me things. So let's, we have our object B. What was our object B? We got our guy here, right? Let's go ahead and I'm just going to copy object A to teleport. Let's just make an object B for teleport. And just because it's already got the color and all the other stuff, I'm just going to copy this out and delete the original object. I know we said we'd put it there and copy the other way, but meh. Okay, so here's our little teapot. Let's call him a teapot. Teapot. I'm going to be stupid. Okay, just because this is fun, we're teleporting things. The sphere I'm going to call Brundle. And the thing it teleports into, I'm going to call Fly. And if you have to ask why I'm calling these Brundle and Fly, you have not seen enough movies, sir. Okay, so our object B here, our Fly, is going to be... Oh, I should have actually gotten a geometry of a fly and a dude. That would have made it too complicated. Okay, that would have been cool though. Maybe I'll do that later because it'd be fun, and I'll get sued by Paramount Pictures. So this is basically the last point of the curve. We're going to grab in. Doink, doink. And so our object to teleport now goes to there. So if we see our curve, there's our curve. Oh, maybe it was my fault. Okay, fine. There's our curve, and it's set. We've set it up so that if we move the curve around and change it, the objects will move around as well. But they're just at the beginning, at the end. Okay, so just kind of getting our ducks in a row, so to speak. Other ducks, we are going to generate some stuff, but we're going to change the DOP nets, obviously, because this is teleportation instead of... I'm also changing this here, so it'll be at a different place. A couple big things we're going to need to do, and I'm going to do them in object A, and then we'll copy the stuff over into object B. We'll actually copy the whole DOP net over. So the main thing that's going to change, the particle source, let's leave the same. Again, we can do something new, but that looks pretty good. Our main thing is how things move and what things do. And I'm going to save that for the next lesson because that's going to be the cool part. We're going to We're going to have our particles stream off just like before, but they're going to follow along this curve. And then we also have to have them conform into this guy and magically somehow get into that shape. And that's where you're like, how are we going to do that? And the shader has to work and all that other stuff. So there's a little bit of magic and it's going to come up. Okay, so come back for the next lesson and we'll hit that.